Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Soulful Sunday. I am your host, Akeem Art. In today's episode, we're going to talk about life on campus. And, and so we have invited two university students, Denver Smith and Miss Shanoya Russell, is going to share their story with us this afternoon. But before our guest comes on, we have to interact with our viewers for just about some minutes. So if you're a college student, just type in the chat for me, please. Okay, Miss Saros, good afternoon to you. Welcome to the show. This evening, I want to ask you a few questions before our guest comes on. So I want you to tell us, Miss Saros, which university are you going and what program are you studying?
Good afternoon. I'm going to college and studying business studies.
Go again, Miss Saros. We are not hearing you.
You hearing me now?
Yes, I am.
Okay, I'm attending Portmore Community College
Hmm.
and I'm studying business.
So what is your life like at college so far?
It isn't bad, however, due to COVID, we are now online,
Hmm.
but I'm making it work.
Okay, so far, what are some of the good memories you've had?
All right, I must say the teachers, they do make the courses enjoyable and, friends.
Hmm. What are some of the bad memories?
I don't think I have any. I got a few grades that I never liked, but they were still good, so that's all right.
So apart from studying your degree, what are the things you have learned from college so far? Heard me, Miss Saros?
Yes, I'm here. What things I've learned so far? Well, dealing with persons day to day,
Hmm.
getting older and older, adults would get harder.
Hmm. Okay, thank you, Miss Saros, for joining the show this afternoon.
No problem.
Yes. Are there any more college students? Miss Alicia Smith, good afternoon to you. Welcome to the show.
Afternoon.
Good afternoon, madam. So, which college did you went to and what program did you study?
I went to the University of the West Indies and I did management studies and accounting.
So, what was college life like for you back then?
Well, I the thing that I love with it, even though I was not I didn't stay on campus, I used to travel.
Hmm.
It's just the camaraderie that we had with our colleague in terms of the teamwork,
Hmm.
because I realized that when we come together and start studying, it helps us instead of when you're trying to do it on your own.
Hmm.
The only thing I didn't like was when it comes to when they put us in groups. Some persons didn't pull their weight. But apart from that, you have the good and the bad. And I always try to make my years, those days, very, very fruitful, because I know my objective now was to get the degree and get out.
Okay. So, apart from don't liking to be in a group, What are some of the other bad memories you have had?
No, man, I like being in the group,
Mm.
because I see where it helped me. So
Okay.
I don't mind the group studies. It's just that you have some persons when they put you in the group, they don't pull their weight. So the pressure is on for you to accomplish what you'd want to do. So maybe you have to take up their task in order to, fulfill what is your mandated to do.
True. And what are some of the good ones you have had?
The social life, the social setting,
Okay.
those down times when you decide to take a break from the studies and you get to visit different events,
Mm.
but you still have to balance it because it's not like when I was in high school or prep school when you have a teacher say, remember, you have the exam. Remember, nobody there to tell you, so you'll have to know, listen to me, am I going to go to all of this event or am I going to forego this and beat the book or
Mhm.
go to the event and then beat the midnight oil? You understand? You have to know to
Yes.
create that balance.
So apart from getting your college degree, what has college life taught you?
What should I say? What has it taught me? Hmm.
Think about it.
Well, I don't even know what to say. That's not because there are so many different things that I take away from it. I know that it prepares me for the working world in sense of you have to know how to be independent,
Mm.
right? So it prepares me in such a way that when I started working,
Mm.
you understand, I realized that you have to embrace the fact that you might end up left standing alone,
Mm.
right?
Okay. Thank you,
You might
madam.
not have somebody all the time in your corner.
True. Even in high school. Thank you. Thank you, madam,
Well,
for joining
well,
us
my
this
days of high
afternoon.
school might have been different from yours because Green Bench was our
Mhm.
friendly place on the compound here.
Tell us what was life like for you at Clarendon College?
Oh, please. Well, it was exciting because those days I don't know, as I when I reached sixth form I realized that there was somewhat a segregation, but when I was even in lower school they used to say that lower school must not go on the sixth form block or the fifth form block. So what I used to do was, where I used to live, I
Mhm.
used to make sure I catch on the school bus. So because I tried to travel on the school bus, I'd use the excuse to say that I have a cousin or a sister on the fifth form block. So I would have to go up there. So because I associate myself with them, when they see me coming up there, they say, oh, like they say, "So little miss, they are coming."
Mhm.
So, so I get the opportunity to go on the fifth farm block and the sixth farm. So when I reach there now, you understand, I end up have to share the same sentiment because you'd have persons who would have passed through and say, listen me, they have a little cousin or a little sister in the first farm coming up, So, because they want to know. And what I realized was that the lower school girls used to be attracted to the upper school, especially the footballers.
Mhm.
And because of how I was brought up, when I was even at the canteen, I used to see them coming. My God, if you're at the front of the line, you just want to move out of this way and give them the space. Because you understand, that was how they tried to institutionalize it in you, that as if they are. But when I realized that no, it's not supposed to be like that.
Mhm.
You understand? You can't have a little space in the line, and because you see the footballers or the
That's true.
netballers or the athletes coming, you run out and give them the space, and you
Mhm.
suffer the consequence. No, no. So I make sure when my children start going to high school, I say, listen, hold your space. Footballer or no footballer.
Makes sense. Even now, it's still like that. I don't know why.
Really? And I think it
Even
would have
now.
changed, because this generation, I realize they are very barefaced now. So I thought it would have changed.
Mm.
It would not have been cowards like my days.
Even now. Thank you,
Oh
madam,
God.
for
You're
joining us this
welcome.
afternoon. Any other
Thanks.
any other college student on here today? You can just type that in the chat and let us have a short convo before we get to our guest. All right. Since as there are no other college students on here, we're going over to our guest. I think Miss Renisha Russell is here. Denver said he's having some challenges. He'll be here at 4:30. Miss Russell, good afternoon to you. Welcome to the show.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Miss Russell. So tell us which college you're at and what program are you studying?
Okay, I'm at the University of Technology and I'm Science in Nursing.
Go again?
Bachelor's of Science in Nursing at the University of Technology.
Okay, Nurse Russell. So being at
Not a nurse yet.
being at you being at UTech, what is college life like for you?
Okay, wow. It's a lot of things, good and bad. We got the opportunity to spend a year on campus, and then COVID came and it's not completely at home for me because we have a lot of practical sessions, so it's a mixture of being at home and being at school.
So before going to college, let us backtrack a little. Before going to college, coming to you, Mr. Thomas. Before going to college, how did Lower Six prepare you for college?
Oh God. Well, I didn't really fully experience lower six, because I was sick, so I had missed a lot of time there. But while I was there, you got to understand what the coursework pressure was like a little bit. So you got nudged when it got to assignments and managing your time and all of that. But it's mostly preparing you for what the work itself, for me personally, it prepared for what the work itself be like.
Okay. So what are some of the good memories you have had at UTech?
Well, you in a different environment, you meet new people. You get to see when they tell us, and when they get to tell us in devotion that it's different being in college than when you're in high school. You get to see that for yourself. So it kind of pull you up a bit because, well, for me, I entered kind of giddy in the sense because it was all, college is going to be awesome and you're going to do this and you're going to do that. But when you finally integrate, it's completely different.
Okay. So what are some of the bad memories?
Oh my God.
Have you ever sit and cried in the library?
I cry everywhere. Library, home. In my first year, well, well, I called my mother, told her I wanted to come home, pack up my stuff because it was just so hard at one point, I'm sure you can remember when the teachers went on strike. It was very hard for us as students because you didn't have the guidance that you would to say that you go to class or you have this coursework to do or that assignment to bring in. So when it got to the end of it, it was close to exam time when they decided to come back, and it was very challenging because all of that work that you would have done during the period, they came up again and you had to give it in before exam time, and at the same time you had to be studying. I went crazy. I called my mom and told her I want to come home because I can't manage. But
So
God kept me and I am still pushing.
how did you overcome that? What did you use as a drive to continue?
Well, to be honest, it was a very experimental time for me because I was still learning how to adjust myself in the sense finding study patterns, managing my assignments, and all of that. And honestly, I just prayed. I prayed a lot. And I had my mom to tell me, you're going to push through it and you can't just give up. It's your first test and all of that. So, as much as I was stressed and crying a lot, I always stop, wipe my eyes, and try again. I never completely give up. I'm not going to tell you that I'm strong and mighty because I was weak a lot of times, but I had encouragement and I prayed a lot. So that was it for me to push through that particular time.
Okay, so apart from getting your degree, what are some of the things you're learning?
I can take from Maduro working with others. That's not always a great thing. You are learning, well, for me, I'm not going to say you, I'm learning my strengths. I am learning to adapt to different environments because for my specialty, I have to be in a lot of different places, being in the hospital or health centers. So you get to learn how to deal with different kinds of people, and that in itself is awesome. It's been an awesome experience because you have some hostile people out there, and you get to see different levels of you that you never know you had. So college for me is just really bringing out some strengths that I didn't know I had.
Tell us about those experiences you've had at hospitals and health centers.
Well, they see you as student because you're going to be in uniform, not resembling the RNs or the midwives, but at the same time they come to you even though you're not certified, because that's the only difference that sets us apart. But they come to you for help, and sometimes they won't even know that you are just being plucked into it, or just experience sake. My very first day on the ward at KPH, I encountered somebody. He had just come out of surgery, and we were doing rounds, we were doing assessments, and he was asking me to give him a particular thing, a particular medication, but we are not supposed to cross some lines, being new and all. He was talking to me as if I was somebody that he had seen the night before, but it was my first day. And he was saying, remember you did give me this, and I was saying, no, it's not me. He was like, yeah, man, you changed me, and you this and you that. I went to get another nurse. And he got so upset at me, saying that me just help man. God left him, and he was so emotional. And I felt so bad because, but at the same time, I could not show it because, you have to be professional, and you cannot allow yourself. You can't allow yourself
to be driven by emotions.
Yeah. So that for me on the first day was like, oh my God. But you see and you learn and you adapt.
So from that experience, what have you learned about the working world, about working as a nurse?
Well, it is definitely not easy because, well, the way I see it, they come to us for help, and you see a lot of different people. You see the sick. For me, is just sick because it can be a flu, it can be infection, it can be a gunshot, a stab wound, and when you can put yourself in the seat of the patient, it's completely different because you are just going to give them the knowledge that you have, and sometimes they don't even know what to do with it. So you will have to being more than just their nurse to say that, okay, take your medication or don't sit like this, or you won't be able to eat that. You have to kind of meet them at a level, to bring them some sense of comfort. And that again for me has shown me to never be ungrateful, because you never know what situation you'll find yourself in, and you're putting your life in other humans' hands, and it's a 50-50 outcome.
Right,
So
indeed.
compassion has really, really, I've seen a lot of that, and I've learned to give that being in the space.
Okay, so for other college students and upcoming college students like myself, being in the position of going to college, what advice would you give to us?
Well, I'd first tell you to find something that you love. Ensure that you are mentally ready for being in college, because everything is out there: the parties, the drinking. You're going to see everything. And as Madhuri said, you won't have teachers coming to you and saying, oh, you have an assignment or you have an exam or you should be early for class. They tell us that you read for your degree and that you work for your degree. So even though you might have a few lecturers that are over you and saying, all right, Russ, you need to push or you need to put more effort here, you have to want it. You have to crave it enough, because there are going to be times when it's going to get to you, and in that moment you're going to need that strength, because you can have a million people telling you you can do this, and if you don't feel it for yourself, it's going to be, your scale is going to be unbalanced, and you need that energy to put into your work so that you can maximize on your potential.
Thank you, Madam. Madam
You're
Nurse.
welcome.
Thank you, Madam Nurse, for sharing your story with us this afternoon. Y'all
You're welcome.
viewers, Renisha is my big sister, y'all. Yes. So there's a question that Jermaine wants to ask. Jermaine, you may go ahead.
You, I think I lost my question, but I think I have two. Um, what is one thing, or I mean, college students or you, Rashina, right? That's the name?
Renisha.
Anisha.
Renisha. What is one thing you would change about college if you're still there, or no, that you're still not in colleges today?
Okay, what would I change? Um, there's always room for improvements, but right now it would just be um the opportunity for everyone to have a chance to actually have a college education, or let me say it like this. I would like means to be investment for students or for persons who are not financially stable to be able to go to college and get that education, because there's a lot of persons out there that they have the background and they have up to the high school level, and they are just in predicaments now that they just cannot go to college because of either funding or some other reason. So that for me would be the number one thing to make means for persons who either financially unstable to have the opportunity to go to school.
Good. So the next question, since you have left college, what is one thing that has changed about you as an individual?
Can you repeat?
You heard me?
Repeat the question?
Since you have left college,
I'm still
what
in
is one thing
college.
that has
I'm still going to college.
you're still what is one thing though that has changed for you or about you? What is what is one thing that changed?
Um, I'm a stronger person physically and emotionally and mentally. Because as I said, college can break you and it can make you. So you have to have that inner strength in you to know that despite of the odds, you are going to push through it no matter what. Because there are going to be, as I said, there are going to be instances when you crack. I'm not trying to scare anyone, but it is evident and it might happen either in the beginning or closer to the end because it is not a straight clear path. Obstacles are at every turn. It's either an assignment or a grade that you didn't get or you missed a class. Every small thing add up to something bigger. So you have to have that push and also that support from your family or your peers. So for me personally, I've seen where I've grown to be a stronger student and a stronger person.
Great, thank you. No, the last question. The last question. That compromising situation that presented itself there at the hospital while you were on training. What does
Mhm.
that teach you?
Well, a lot of things. For one,
You want to repeat?
it has taught me a lot. I try not to view the patient's condition and to view the patient themselves because they're human and what based on what I've seen so far, being in the hospital for most of them is just wanting to be home or be with their families or wanting to feel safe and trust you enough to give them the care they need to make them
Oh,
better.
you heard me right?
Mhm. Go again.
Sorry, I didn't get everything. The network fell. So could you repeat?
I'm saying it has taught me a lot. I've been able to put myself in the shoe of the patient. I've grown to understand how to interact with them better, to be compassionate, and to just apply myself to them to ensure that they are okay so that they can get the goal that they wish to receive, which is to go home and to be with their families.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Thomas, for such lovely questions. We're still with you, Miss Russell. Tell us one moment in college that really broke you. That moment you had to cry to Miss Russell.
The teachers went on strike
Hmm.
because, well, it was, I think, 4 weeks before finals. And I mean, it was my first year, as I said. And when the altercation was resolved, when they came back to school, it was just coursework upon coursework upon coursework. At that time I was doing, I think, 7 modules, and when teachers come, they don't ask you, "Oh, Miss Russell, did Mr. Art give you homework or did Miss Smith give you an assignment?" They don't do that. They just give you work and you're supposed to complete when they say. So when I saw that bulk of work before me and knowing that I had to study to ace my exams and the time that I had to do it, but I cried so hard because I saw it as impossible. And I literally packed my stuff and called my mom.
My Lord.
I said, "Okay, mother." And I've done it a lot, but at that time, I think I felt it most then because for me, I thought if I fell then, I could never get out because I just started. But as I said, I prayed and she was praying for me and she had me. So I managed to pull through it.
Right, like the big
That
sister I
to me
know.
was the hardest part.
So now tell us one moment that made you feel like saying, yeah, me in a college I do something. And you call you call mommy and you say, Mommy, so and so. Tell us one
When
moment.
I
Tell us that
passed those
moment.
exams,
Hmm.
when I passed those exams because I did not have faith in myself and she had faith in me. So when I passed those exams, trust
Mhm.
me, that was like heaven for me.
Heaven on earth.
Yeah,
Okay, thank you, Nurse Russell. Uh,
you're welcome.
so if there's anybody on the show this afternoon that wants to give some encouragement to Miss Russell, you may go ahead and do so now.
Can I? I'll go again.
Yes, you may.
All right. So the encouragement I will give to you is keep going, keep going. It's going to present some challenges for you and for everybody. I can tell you when I was in teaching practice, there are so many things that faced or test my faith. One thing I remember is that when we put less important things ahead of what the goals that we are going to attain, it can put us in a compromised situation or pull us down as it were. I can tell you this, even if it's your first year, second year, third year, fourth year, at times you will feel like giving up, like drop your hands. I can remember the account of Daniel and the three evil boys. With Daniel at times when he felt like the lion was going to eat him, or the three evil boys, they felt like the fire was going to burn them. But I remember Jehovah in the picture, right? That things is not how we see it because sometimes you don't see the bigger picture, right? Sometimes the boy, this is stressing 2 years to go, 1 more year to go, quick time it done. But I can tell you, keep holding on. It's not going to be easy, but as my grandmother said before she did, if you want to go, then you have to run. So sometimes you just have to keep going and keep going. And that's what we have to do. Sometimes we have to beat yourself sometimes. We just get up out of the bed and say, yes, man, let's start this. May I run the race and I have to finish it. So, that's what we have to do. It never be easy. So hold on to it.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
Good evening,
Shanoya.
everyone.
Hi.
Good evening. You may go ahead, Miss Crossfield.
Okay, good evening. Hi, Sean. How are you?
I'm okay, I'm not bad.
Okay. Well, my encouragement to you is that God is able to finish what He has started, and it's not gonna be easy, but God is able, and continue to do what you are doing, because God will see you through. All the best. Thanks.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's me again. I want to say, hi, Shan. How are you?
Hi, Wataru. I mean, Alicia, sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. I take any name. I take the name. You know, I'm used to that. I'm not the person who run down title or anything, but I am saying I'm really pleased and impressed with your presentation, and I must applaud you because I really see where you have become stronger. And my mantra is, I can do all things through Christ who strengtheneth me. I always have that in every textbook or hardcover book that I have. I always put that at the forefront, no matter what. And I've seen where you have overcome some hurdles, and the fact that you realize that your strength rests in the Lord, I know that you'll overcome. My prayers are continually with you, and I know that you just remember, as Janet had said, that He has never left an incomplete task. So the Lord has started the work, and I know He's going to see you through to the end. So keep doing, keep going, and continue to trust Him. Blessings.
Thank you.
Anyone else before we move on to our next guest? If not, then we'll move on. So, thank you, Miss Russell, for sharing your story with us this afternoon.
You're welcome, bro.
Yes, I hope to see you soon. So, we are over to our next guest, Mr. Denver Smith. Good afternoon to you, Mr. Smith. Thank you for joining the show this afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good
I
afternoon.
must I must apologize for the background noise. I was on the road and I'm sorry for being a bit tardy. But I'd like to thank you for having me this afternoon. It's been a pleasure to be here. Sharing my story.
So, tell us, Mr. Smith, which college are you going and what program are you studying?
Well, I'm actually attending the Northern Caribbean University, that's Mandeville main campus, and I'm pursuing a Bachelor of Arts degree in Communication Studies. I'm a general studies kind of, not emphasizing on generalizing. So at this moment,
Okay, that's my department. Anyways, so what is college life like for you? But before you answer that question, uh,
mm,
being at Clarendon College doing 2 years of sixth form, how has that prepared you for college?
well, that's a very interesting question, because there are a few aspects of going to sixth form that really prepares you for college. I can really speak on the type of lecturer student relations. I think sixth form kind of ease into that because I can see where the lecturers sometimes I can see some comparison how the teachers teach in sixth form. So lecturers lecture here at NCU. I can also emphasize on some key academic writing styles and stuff which I would have learned from sixth form doing communication studies. Some of these include like writing literature review, like research papers and stuff. I believe some of the subjects that would have done in sixth form, they would have really prepared us somewhat for university as it relates to the academic writing part of it.
Okay, okay, Mr. Smith. So what is college life like for you?
It's a very nice question. Well, college life has been a bit, let me say no, it's not easy. I won't say it's easy. It has been a learning experience for me. I must say there are many things that I would have understood while going to university, because I think it's only university that would have taught me these things, and I can say that it's really a learning experience. That's all I guess. It's really a learning experience. Each day I learn something new that I can really apply to my life and build myself professionally.
So what are some of those things you have learned?
Let's Some of these things would have include, like, for example, how we relate with each other, how we talk to people, how we market and brand ourselves. These are some key aspects I believe that doing your course or doing your program at university will really teach you to do. And I really learned about personal branding because I'm really at that point in my life where I'm trying to brand myself, trying to be that individual that is marketable for the workspace. And professionally wise, I think that I am not there, but I'm learning the necessary skills that are required for me to operate in the professional environment. So college has really taught me these things
Oh,
and much more.
and much more. So what are some of the good memories you have had so far?
Well, I've had the opportunity of meeting a lot of people, and that has really been one of the positive things for me here at the university. You meet so many people from very different backgrounds, both international and locally. You will be so surprised how a person from a parish, for example, like Westmoreland or Saint Elizabeth or Saint Anne, are different, and you wonder, like, are these guys really Jamaicans? Like, their experiences, how they speak, how they how passionate they are about certain things. It's really interesting, and I believe that meeting people is is a really good thing, because it helps us to really understand um our space in society, and see that we're not the only ones there, and we're here to really see how best we can live with each other. So that's really been a positive thing for me as it relates to college, because I was somewhat kind of, you know I was extroverted, but at the same time I was introverted. So it has really caused me to become more extroverted as it relates to talking to people. So yeah,
Yes,
it's a positive.
doing communication studies, right? So, what are some of the bad memories you have had so far?
Oh, Jesus. That's uh, I have a lot of bad memories. A whole lot. What I can really highlight though was when it comes down to academics. I believe I wasn't fully prepared mentally to really approach university, and it really affected me academically my first semester, because I didn't understand what was required, and all this system, and plus everything was online. So it really affected me that way, because I don't learn that way. I have to be there physically, having that one-to-one dialogue with the lecturer. I don't believe that I was able to maximize my personality through the online learning. So that was really one of the bad things. And when it came on to, like, some persons are dealing with people, it really got to a point where you have to really question yourself, and to see where am I a bad person, or it's just them, or there were so many things to really so many bad things, because I can't even remember a pinpoint this time where I was in this group, and trust me, group work at college is a very different thing. Trust me, it's very different. And sometimes what you have to do is you have to learn to just accept that there are people who are gonna have some very strong personalities, who are gonna believe that, like, I am in charge here, and what I say goes. And you're gonna have some people like me who's gonna always oppose. So, because it's always gonna be a conflicting type of thing. So, but at the end of the day, what you have to learn to do is to see where you can get to that common ground, where you can agree and say, like, I think this is a better idea in comparison to this one, and try to see where you guys can work together. So my bad experiences rather, really are centered around, like, the online learning type of environment, and how I work with others as a group, and dealing with people in general. So that was really the experience I've learned. I can say that are bad, and I really learned from them.
So, how did you overcome all of those?
As I would have highlighted a while ago, I had to see where I can come as related people, as in dealing with people. I had to see where I can come to a common ground with them, and not to portray myself as someone that is you know someone that is, what's the word I'm looking for? Someone that is actually enforcing my own ideas and my own opinions on them, but rather understanding that others have their own ideas and opinions. Others have ways that they do things, that I should be open to listen, and I should accept sometimes that, some people are just gonna stay in some I just gonna stay in some ways that there's something you can do about it. Just work with it. That's just some how people are. So that's really what I learned from dealing with people. Um, However, as it relates to the online learning platform, I believe I'm still in the process of learning to work with it, because at
We
one
are
point I was saying,
all.
like, I was like, I'm fed up of this thing. Why did I go to university this year? What am I doing? Like, I could have been like a number of my classmates would have stayed back and say, I'm gonna wait till this coronavirus and see what's going on. I'm gonna, take a break and stuff. And I I was really upset about it, but over time I would have, understand how the system really works, how logging in online was, talking about dealing with Iran as interview platform, which is a very difficult platform, because you know you can really be very early for class, but at the same time you're late. Um, and even assignments and stuff. So it was really learning to adjust. I had a hard time rather adjusting to online learning, but I believe I am better able to manage it right now. I'm better able to help myself, and it's through it's through the experiences that I would have had.
Okay, so let us backtrack a little. You said in your first semester of university, your academics wasn't so, you know, up to date. So how did how did you overcome that?
Ah,
What did you
well,
use as
for
a
me,
drive to overcome it?
well, as I said, I preferred a face-to-face type of interaction with my lecturers, and I wasn't getting that in the first semester, I and that caused me to not really ask questions. I'm in a classroom. I believe I'm the student that is gonna sit in a class and just listen what the teacher has to say, and maybe sometimes I won't get everything, but I will still listen. And, I may not ask questions, but I tend to speak with my peers. And sometimes when you actually speak to your peers and they don't understand anything, you get very frustrated, and you're gonna say that lecture should have taught you this. And I have not always been the one to get to speak to the teacher directly and say, Miss or sir, I don't get this. And so that was really where I had to step out as a student to better my academics, because I can remember this particular lecture. She was I was I say she had a lot of standards that at the time and in the type of online type of environment, it wasn't for me. It might have worked for some other person, but it wasn't for me. And she literally said, Denver, I don't see you passing this course, and even if you submit more assignments to me, you still won't pass this course. And I had to say to myself that, how can this lady say this to me? It's my first time at university. I don't understand how this works. I'm trying my best. And, she still wants to fail me. And I came to terms with it. I said, okay, she go fail me. I try my best already. So I'm just leave it, my God. And I did fail her course, yes. But when I did it over, I understood where I was going wrong, and I really adjusted it, because some of the problems that I was really facing was me with my time management, with my social media time, and all my working relationships with people. So these were the things that I was lacking, that would have caused me not to meet up to her standard or her level of work that she needed from me. Because sometimes despite lecturers might not know you individually, um they see your potential, and she saw my potential, as because I did a presentation at one point, and it was weird that she really started to see me as a person and not just a number, in the class. And she was saying that, Denver, I wish you would have shown this potential in the earlier part of the semester. So what I can say to anyone going forward is that when you approach a university environment, you have to be aggressive in what you want, but not too aggressive. You get me? So you get what I'm saying? So
Yes, you get what I say.
yeah, get me on someone. So you have to be aggressive, and be open to manage your time wisely, and be able to work with others. So, and a lot of people believe that we can't bother with group work because me not like talk to people, me not like deal with people. And this is the type of mentality that's gonna cause you to fail, because you have to realize that you need to manage your time properly, and you need to be able to work with others. So those were my downfalls, and I would have made necessary adjustments, still making adjustments in the second semester, and I would have seen some improvement in my grades. Like, they weren't all that good, but I can see where I would have managed my time better with some courses,
Mhm.
and I can say that I did better as it relates to how I approach my academics
Mhm.
in comparison to last semester. Yeah.
Okay, so what's one moment where you feel like, yes, I'm in college for something, I'm doing something good? What was that one moment that gave you a drive to continue?
All right, so they were in my department.
Mhm.
We have something called DCS week of excellence, and it was where I realized that despite all the hard work that the students were put in, I see where they were rewarded, and I see where like I see where they wanted it, because sometimes they really in the program I see where they explain some of their situations, explain their passion and why they're doing this, and it really ignite that passion. Because I'm a person, I'm passion driven, so I think I learn. If you so for example you're passionate about Spanish, and you're teaching me, I'll become passionate as well. So seeing their passion, how they articulate themselves, how well they conduct themselves, how well they're focused and driven, and despite all the challenges that they would have faced, they're still persevering, they're still doing what they're supposed to do. It has motivated me to say that this is the field that I want to go into. This is the field that I see myself I see myself applying myself. All right. And yeah, that was the one moment for me during the week of excellence in during the program. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Smith. So for the upcoming university students like myself and other university students who are on the show, what advice would you give to them?
What I can say to anyone that's going to university September is that you need to consider, you need to really look into yourself and see if I'm ready for this. That's the first question you need to ask. Am I ready for this?
Hmm.
Um, why do I need this? Do I really need this? You need to ask yourself those questions, because at the end of the day, you need to know why you're doing it. Is this for mommy? Is this for daddy? Is this to prove to myself that I am worth it, to prove that I can achieve something? You need to know what you're doing, and you need to also look at how you're managing your time. Am I spending too much time on social media? Am I spending too much time with my friends? Am I majoring in the minor? Am I poorly prioritizing stuff? You need to look at all those things when you're approaching university, and you need to also remember that the type of treatment that you would have been getting in high school, it's going to be very different, and you have to ensure that your deadlines are met. That time management is important, and deadlines must be met. So let me summarize. So time management, to know what you're here for, know what you want, and to really see how you can work with others, because that's basically it. Because as I said, on one degree I give out, everybody get a degree at the end of the hard work. All right. So that's my advice to anyone that's going to university in September.
Thank you, Mr. Smith, for sharing your story with me this afternoon. So before we get to the affirmation, is there anybody on the show this afternoon that wants to encourage Mr. Smith? You may do so now before we get to the affirmation. Go ahead, Mr. Thomas.
I can tell Denver that he's a determined person. He doesn't have to tell me. He is somebody that is he loves what he um keep going, Denver. Keep going. I love how you express yourself. I think you will reach very, very far because you're a very passionate person. Um, College life is not an easy life, not at all. It can become distracting if you're not careful, and you can be caught up in so many things. But once your focus is what you go there for,
Mhm.
then you will reach your goal. Just keep going. Just keep going. Just keep going. If you tell your we can't drop our hands. Don't drop your hands. You never drop your hands. Even if some tough times, some lecturer cuts you, some of your classmates just tell you something and you feel like giving up. Don't. Because while they are attacking you and then you give up, they're going to get their degree, their diploma, but you're going to be out. So you have to keep going. Alright?
Thank you, Mr. Thomas. Anyone else? Anyone else before we get to the affirmation?
Hi, Denver. Um, you must remember me, so I want to introduce myself. Um, I've seen, I've seen you around.
Renisha.
Yes, Ranisha. I've seen you around and see you. You have there's a program that I know you've been on hosting and hearing you talk just now. I'm glad to see that you're okay. And this is not just for you, but for everyone. He shared that he has had experience in fail. He has experienced failing. I just want to say for everybody, um, it might not happen to everybody, but don't put it aside. And it's okay. The thing that you should do is get up and run still. Don't just sit and say, okay, this happened and that's it for me. Get up and brush off and find the strength to push. And I am proud of you, Denver, and I wish nothing but the best for you.
Thank you, Miss Russell. It's now time for our affirmation. So it says, education is the passport to the future, for tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today. College can sometimes be stressing, and it can leave you thinking, why am I paying so much money just to sit and cry in the library once per week? Don't worry. Many persons have been there and done it. Sometimes all you need is just a laugh, a little motivation, or a reminder of why you are working so hard. Many students discover their true passion while at college that can lead to the fulfillment through jobs and an undying thirst to learn more in the future. Life on campus might be as hard as a rock, but don't forget the reason why you started and the reason why you want to finish. Mr. David Wilson, the principal of Clarendon College, who many of you may know, always say we must begin with the end in mind. And so, on this episode of Soulful Sunday, I am affirming. I will always begin with the end in mind. That's it for today, my friends. Again, I'll say thanks to my guests, Mr. Denver Smith and Miss Shanoya Russell, for sharing with us this afternoon. To my viewers who always keeps the show going, a big thank you to you all. My production team, thank you. I am your host, Takim Art, signing out of this week's episode of the show. Join us next week, same time and the same place. God bless you. Until then, continue to refuel your soul and to be grateful for your blessings. Take care and have yourselves a very good afternoon.